Yeah! Hello and welcome to the first game played of the new DEFCON2 2, or DEFCON22 as I like to call it, War Yes 2v2 Warno tournament between Team Berlin Boys, and that's chesK and Artakwa, and they're up against Team for word I can't say because YouTube will demonetize me, but it is a German transport vehicle which begins with F. Sake, and that consists of Team Yankee and CAMOKEEVER, and they're on Hesse, normal Hesse, not Hesse Duel. Looking at the divisions, I think Blue's got a bit of an advantage here. Pact is really not that competitive right now. And yeah, we got chesK on 5 easy peasy, and Artakwa on 11 US, and Team Yankees on 79Y, and CAMOKEEVER is on KDA. So we'll start with Blue's deployment because I'm here. Looks like they've just divided it. So Artakwa is taking Golf November, and chesK is helping a little bit in November, but mainly focusing on Papa and tried to push towards India, presumably. So standard lane-based combat. I'm somewhat surprised that I think like if chesK put a Sublinde down here, it would really help Artakwa out. But he's got the Recon Bradleys for a similar role. So yeah, I've not finished yet. So looking at Artakwa's deployment. He's basically going hard on golf, M1A1CV, iHawk, Stinger. 11 US is really strong on this map in 2v2s because, yeah, you can just play the open ground and just spam M1A1 and win. Backed up by iHawks, so nobody can kill your M1A1. So he's got the Recon ACAV and he's got the Recon Bradleys. But he's sending them, considering they're recon units and they'll get there first, he is sending them quite defensively. Considering looking at the enemy's team, they don't have any forward deployment apart from like Spetsnaz GRU, which don't really count. So yeah, he's also got some BGS. BGS was split into 2 squads. This is the woman squad, I think. And that is going quite aggressively, unlike the other units. One thing you got to be careful of is the road here. So if somebody gets a ATGM here, it will try, if you try and spawn a unit here, it will keep sending them down the road and they will all die. So you got to be careful. So yeah, fairly rudimentary deployment. I mean, I'm wondering where all his points have gone. I feel like he might have some planes, but the Bradley CFVs aren't cheap, and neither are 2 M1A1s on opener, and they're both special ones. This one's a Recon one, and this one's a CV one, so maybe that's where all his points went. One Stinger for over here. It's an interesting choice. I mean, the iHawk's going to cover you from your planes, so not sure why the Stinger's there. Stop rogue helicopters, but I guess the Bradley does something similar, but whatever. And yeah, he's open 2 CVs for Golf November. Looking at chesK, he's just doing your standard 5 easy peasy, so Sublinde on every road under his control. And he's just going to send those down, try and get some early kills. Although I'm quite surprised by this race car here. Like, what's that shooting at? He's just shooting down that road, I guess. He's worried about people coming down that road. We'll see if it plays out for him. 2 Grenadier Voltigeurs for November, so they clearly intend to defend November and attack the flanks. And then, yeah, just 4 more Grenadier Voltigeurs, so 6 Grenadier Voltigeurs total. 5 easy gets really cost-efficient units, so like if you look, this does 343 suppression, which means that with 1 hit, it stuns any vehicle in the game. Regardless of veterancy, regardless of resolute, regardless of special forces, this French bad boy with the maximum range RPG, 70% accuracy, 1-shot stuns any vehicle in the game. So that's cool. And then behind that we've got the AA Tarasques, rolling 2 rolling 3s and a CV. So yeah, he definitely doesn't like planes. KDA benefit from planes. They get lots of cheap planes. Sadly, those planes die in one hit to the I-Hawk. The Roland 2 will require 2 shots to kill those MiG-21 Bison bombers, though. Switching to their opponent's deployments, so CAMOKEEVER's gone for the town, which is what you'd expect, and he's just gone for... So he's got the 30mm grenade launchers, 2 of them, and yeah, he's just defending hard in India. We won't go through every unit, because what's the point? He's got a Strela. The 30mm grenade launchers, typically you want them at range. So he clearly predicts people here. And yeah, so he's not really sending anybody on the left apart from this Avklärer, which he's brought in a helicopter, which I think would actually be slower than a truck. And then, yeah, KDA Schutzen, Pioneer Flam, couple Conkers. Conkers are like both going to the same building, which is weird. You don't really want to be doing that. You want to spread them out. One here can be very useful. If he's got one here can also be useful. Or one here, cover this side. Because, yeah, he's pretty light on uniform. I mean, he's got another Strela, he's got a Reservisten, Motorstrelky BMP in, not a BMP, and a 100mm anti-tank gun looking down that road. So both teams clearly defending uniform and attacking the flanks. And his next recon's going to there in the helicopter. Looking at... Oh, and he bought a fob. I was looking for this because KDA is all about that Napalm Grad arty spam. And in 2v2s, I think bringing a fob is very worth it. At least one between the two teams. Because you get 2 players worth of MLRS. And that's the only way you can really fight NATO right now. That's your pact advantage, because the NATO advantage is huge right now. And these qualifying games are best of ones, so you don't get a chance to be NATO and pact. You gotta roll good. So, looking at Team Yankee, he's got Conkers here, a couple Spetsnaz GRU. Not sure why he's unloading. Right, so he's unloading it in the middle of the road, then sending the car there. I don't think he realizes which way round he's done that. The car is going to drive over there while the infantry stays there. And an Igla going to that house. It is cool to get Conkers in there or something, but yeah, you'll have the Spetsnaz GRU eventually get into there, which will give you good recon. Spetsnaz GRU over here is going for this building, and it'll definitely beat the BGS Streiser there. Behind that, Motorstrelkies and Gazes just deploying on Hotel. Pulmachiki deploying on Hotel. Saperi RPO deploying on Hotel. Commander, Conker's vehicle, T-80BV, and Estrella. So I'm wondering where his points have gone. I wonder if he's got any planes, because that is very light on the ground, actually, for Team Yankee here. There's just not a lot of units there. So I'll cast the game, and I'll do it from this perspective. Right, so they're off, and it's time to thank the generous channel joiners. You make videos like these possible, get your names on the screen, get the videos early, get exclusive videos. I don't have to worry about getting loads of views, because I got the generous channel joiners helping me out. So thank you for being a generous channel joiner. If you don't want to pay money, if you don't think it's worth it, that's fine. Please just leave a comment on the videos. Please like the videos. It's free. Takes you 5 seconds. All you got to do is just type GG if you can't think of anything funny to say. That makes YouTube recommend the videos to more people. But this really is a labour of love for me. I'm a full-time PhD student, and this is my home away from home, because the PhD is just rubbish. Do not do a PhD. So I'm looking out for first bloods. That Spetsnaz GRU is probably going to kill that BGS Streiser, although he's put him on not attack and then just forgotten about him. Right, he's realised now. But he could have blown that up in the vehicle, saved himself a headache. This guy did get in this vehicle, and now my man CAMOKEEVER is just losing people in transports to this Sublinde. He really needs to unload that Conkers in that building. Right, so he loses another one, and then he's going to lose it, and he's losing people here. He's lost another one. He's lost another one. He's not paying attention. He's going to lose another one. No, at least that one dismounts. But he literally just lost his whole deployment to him just not paying attention there. He literally just lost his whole deployment to 2 Sublindes. And then he buys a plane, which is going to fly into the Rolands. So that was, like, really not great. And he peeled that off there because the smoke made it lose targeting and he didn't attack position. And then the Rolands killed that plane. So that was a really bad opener, and he's forgotten about this CV as well, so he's not sending that to India to cap it. Over here, Team Yankee having a bit more success. He's managed to hold his zone, but like CAMOKEEVER literally just lost his whole deployment to nothing. And now the important part here is that he's got no infantry anti-tank. So these VABs with their 50 cals are just going to kill all this. If they get close enough to this, it won't even fire because of the minimum range. So that was like a total, really, oh, that was just awful. I cannot stress this enough. That was a really totally not good opener. And if he just unloaded all his stuff, if he just panic unloaded all his stuff, he would have been much better off there. But I think he just wasn't paying attention at all. He just lost everything. So Yankee's bought his own Su-25 cluster, which you really don't see very often. Usually people bring the AT because it can shoot from further away, whereas this has to fly over the enemy, which is very hard to do when there's an IHawk there shooting you. So that IHawk is going to fire again, and the SU's, yeah, the IHawk's got like mega accuracy, like 60%, and the SU ECM's like 5%, so that's going to happen a lot. So Red buying too many planes, and yeah, CAMOKEEVER, he's just like, he's still... Oh, there we go. So he's got a tank out now, but like, he lost his whole deployment, or at least 75% of it, obviously. There's some guys here who have held the ground, but yeah, now chesK is literally just walking in. He's just Q-moved all his Grenadier Voltigeurs. 5 Easy has this uncanny ability to be broken and just have infinite units, but it does help when your enemy lost all his units. And that race car picks off that tank there, and he's bought another plane. You really don't want to be doing this. When you lose all your ground units, the tendency is, I need planes! But now you've still got no ground units, and the enemy's still walking forwards. But I don't know if this was the one from before, because he bought... No, because the one from before died without getting a bomb off. So he does get the race card there, but, like, he needs infantry in this town. So Yankee's bought another Su-25 cluster, and he's dropping it on infantry. It will do a little bit of damage, but not that much. You see, it didn't kill it, either squad. So that's just not a good plane. The AT one's better. So this thing probably won't shoot in time because it's got to turn the gun. And that means chesK is going to get this juicy +2, which will put them on a +4 tick. And the Sublinde is probably going to eat that anti-tank gun for breakfast. Grenadier Voltigeurs, once they get into place, very difficult to shift out because, of course, they have the 750-meter range, 65% accuracy, AT launcher that one stuns any vehicle. And Pact relies heavily on highly armoured vehicles. But yeah, he's losing some guys of his own in transports. You hate to see it. But yeah, he's just buying lots of cost-efficient things, and it is working out for him. And now it looks like he's going to make a play on uniform. So CAMOKEEVER, he's got some ground units now, but it's like, look how outnumbered he is. And he's KDA. He's supposed to be the guy with all the units. But it just ain't working out that way this time. And yeah, he's got a lot of these smaller teams, like the 30mm and the SPG-9. You definitely don't need both of those. They're fulfilling the same role. You definitely need the Conkers. I agree with that. But yeah, I think 56Y would have been a better pick here. So we got double Conkers in there for Team Yankee, so they can miss twice. But the tanks are coming this way. And yeah, you definitely don't want to put both of these in the same building because you're just attracting bombers. I mean, why not put one in this building, or this one, or this one, or this one, or this one? The T-80B-V is using its range advantage there, and the two Conkers... Oh, this Abrams probably going to go down. Yeah, the double Conker's paying for itself. Paying for itself there. But my man CAMOKEEVER is having a really tough time over here. The BV can fight the B2 pretty easily, if it can see it. As you can see, the B2 literally deals 1 pip of damage to that. These men... Yeah, so... But chesK is... I mean... He's... Oh, man, he should have just left that there. He would have killed both of those. That's a shame. So they're going to survive. I thought they would go down there. And the reservist will clean up the VABs pretty fast, but they'll struggle against the Grenadier Voltigeurs, who Yeah, they're 15 points more, so you can understand. Reservistan do have 2 MGs. An MG is like 2 rifles, basically. Just see it as 2 rifles. So these men fight with the strength of 10 men for 40 points, whereas these men fight with the strength of 11 men for 55. But it's about the rocket launcher. The rocket launcher is very good. So CAMOKEEVER, he's bought a mortar now. The fob has lost 1 supply, but yeah, it's hard to use a fob when the enemy are in your base. You can't really afford 320-point napalm grad. This Conquers, doing a bit of missing there. And yeah, here we go, the KDA shuts them. But that really should have been out before the 2 planes. Like, really should have been out before the 2 planes. Over here, Team Yankee's having some success here. The problem you've got with mech rifles is that they're really broken. And one of the reasons for that is that they're 11 men, whereas in real life they're 9. And basically they've just included the driver and the gunner in that. He needs his supply in position, really, and he needs to pull this back to here so that it can use its ATGMs, use its superior range, which he is now doing, but he eats the TOW2 first. And he loses that T80BV because he reversed it instead of... because the smoke's here, right? So you want to reverse it this way, because if you reverse it backwards, they just shoot you. Roll 3 went down there. I'm not sure what killed it. It was probably this. And Jaguar HE out now, so chesK can now afford to help his comrade Artakwa, who's bought some artillery. So chesK lands directly on top of that Ural there, but sadly accomplishes nothing. You would think it would at least stress it out or something. But I think it literally has to dome it, like 0-meter dispersion sort of thing. So CAMOKEEVER, he's trying to get back in. He's sending the transports first. I'm pretty sure he just attack moved everything. But yeah, as soon as he started losing units, he should have unloaded everything. And then he should have bought more ground units. You don't buy a plane. If you lose all your ground units, you need more ground units before you need a plane. So Artakwa, you know, he's hitting that double Conquers team now. And, you know, it really makes you think. And Yankee's trying to get another Conquers here. I mean, this is exactly what I said would happen. Yankee's smoking him up to buy himself some time. First volley, unsuccessful there. Second volley, unsuccessful there. Just doing a bit of missing here. Some major skill issues there. The whole volley misses. Wow. That's wild. So yeah, the issue... So the Dragon 2 at 18 AP one-shots any 4 armor vehicle, such as the BMP2 that you now have to pay 60 points for. It one-shots it. So yeah, this Strokey is in a bad spot. If he had been there, he would have killed that. But here, and like you remember when he was here, if he'd stayed there, he would have killed that. But alas, it gets in. And CAMOKEEVER, he's getting the KDA up. And KDA backed by artillery can do work, but he's just so far behind at this point. There's only 4 minutes left, and he's bought another plane, hasn't he? He's bought a fighter for the Gazelle Hot 2, but he knows about all the AA because he lost his planes to it before. So that's like not worth it at all. And is a big shame. He's mortaring. But yeah, he needs to get a CV in the corner really. And yeah, so when you don't want to be attack moving, you want to go building to building with right-click orders. Otherwise, your enemy's in a building, you're not, and you just lose because your enemy's in a building. Over here, Team Yankee, you know, he's doing all right, but he needs to play around because basically the M1A1 is OP for its price. The T80BV was OP, and the way they fixed it was they just made the Abrams stronger, which I don't really agree with. So he needs to play around the fact that he's got the better ATGMs, and you know, if you can get a recon unit here, that'd be fab. But it might be a bit late in the day for that. And yeah, so you know, take 2v1 engagements, and yeah, so I get this guy to there. But that Bradley's really going to hurt this now because the TOW2 doesn't usually miss, but this man has lost some cohesion there. This man's low cohesion, but he's still firing at max rate of fire, and because of the high base accuracy of 70% there. Because he's buffed up by the CV, it'll hit anyway, and because it has an autoloader, it will still fire at its maximum rate of fire despite being stressed out. So you learn something new every day there from the man currently attached to his ceiling. So CAMOKEEVER, he really needs to put these guys in these buildings instead of just attack moving, because they're just dying, and they'd be trading a lot more efficiently if they were in buildings. Like this guy should be in a building. But he is making some progress here, and he's okay. So it's the grad has been purchased by Yankee, and that was a good grad. That was a good grad. He got the CV. He's pushing him out of the zone. This guy should get stressed out, but sadly, artillery not what it once was. It was just never good. Okay, so there you go. He did manage to stun him. So these men now need to go in the buildings and not shoot from outside. But they're shooting from outside again, so the Grenadier Voltigeur is going to trade really efficiently there. And another SU-25 cluster purchase. Oh, Seed is out. He's not just going to fly it straight into it all, is he? He flies it straight into it all, and the Minstrels are probably going to pop him now. So that's not really how you want to micro that Seed. You want it to be coming in from the side and just getting, you know, briefly in range and then flying back out. But that one does fly like a brick, the KDA one. SU-25 gets something. I'm not sure what. And it gets out. And the T-80BVs are holding the line, but now the M1A1 is in there, and yeah, it's not looking ideal. And the Napalm Grad has been purchased with 1 minute and 28 seconds on the clock. That's really not what you want to be buying. It will get quite a bit of stuff. It gets a Sublinde. You really don't want to be buying that when you're behind, because it's very expensive. It's like more than a minute's income. So T-80BVs are going in. I mean, he needs to focus the Marder Milans, because the Milans are stressing him out in-game. That's a good bomb, especially considering Artakwa was just not moving there. And so he loses CV. So this is a high-altitude bomber, which means when you see it, you just drive forwards, and then, you know, when it drops, you stop and drive backwards. Or you do it the other way around. So that it throws the bombs in the wrong way, and then you just get out of the way. But that way works well, as well, if your enemy just doesn't move. And the T-80BV spam is doing work. But, and you know, like, Yankee hasn't lost his zone, but this bleed out here, this -4 bleed out, is really just ending the game. I mean, there's 42 seconds left. So, Artakwa, he's just swapped up to, okay, well, let's just stick in this and win. And to be honest, I think that, obviously, yeah, so both Conkers died at once there. So the CV's dead. So if he can get this in there, he's got 25 seconds. If he gets it in there, the tick stops. But he's just forgotten about it. He doesn't know. So he's not putting it in there. So he's just going to lose. So it's very sad. But yeah, NATO OP. GG, well played, and this was a best of one. But that opener, man, I have a video called the worst opener ever. That might be the worst tournament opener ever. It was very sad. It was very sad. So, chesK is apparently me. Artakwa is ranked 173 with 44 ranked games this season, and you know, 900 total. Team Yankee is ranked 3,708 with 6 games, only one of which was unpacked, which is what he was playing as, and 347 games total. And CAMOKEEVER ranked 819 with no games as packed, and 186 games total. So, you know, it's not a particularly fair matchup, and yeah, the qualifiers, right? So I probably should not have been so harsh on these guys. I didn't realize that literally both of them put together have less than 10 ranked games, and you know, yeah. So honestly, power to Team Yankee and CAMOKEEVER. They come in here, they're putting the reps in, they're getting better, they're having fun, and I think you should sign up for some tournaments as well. What's the worst that could happen?